Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Hallmark Channel and the NFL are back on the field with a new holiday matchup. Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story.
Every year, like clockwork, someone sends me an ornament.
Saturday, November 22nd.
Let's find the mystery sender.
I give him a Christmas he never forgets.
Two lifelong friends search for a secret Santa.
With today's technology, this is gonna be a piece of cake.
We can't track this.
But today's technology.
But what they uncover
Social media stalking, it's an art. And I'm Michelangelo, baby.
changes the game.
Your eyes light up when you talk about him.
You should just tell her how you feel.
Is it that obvious? Who can't see it? So obvious.
Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story, premieres Saturday, November 22nd at 8. Part of Countdown to Christmas on Hallmark Channel and streaming next day on Hallmark Plus.
I think it's the most anticipated movie of the year now that we've seen one battle after another, right? At least in Buffalo. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is John Fink. I'm the artistic director of the Buffalo International Film Festival. And I'm joined by my co-head.
Anna Scime. I'm the executive director. Thank you all for being here. Morning.
And so welcome to our Hallmark Makes Its Mark in Western New York panel. We'll be discussing Holiday Touchdown, A Newport Christmas, and other holiday productions that Hallmark has been working on here in Western New York. And we're so honored to be joined by, and I'll let them introduce themselves, Jonathan Eskenas and Samantha DiPippo.
Hi, I'm Samantha DiPippo. I'm SVP of Programming at Hallmark Media.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Eskenas. I was executive producer of this movie and fortunate to executive produce movies with Samantha and Hallmark.
We're very excited to be here.
Thank
and I see some people from from the promo that were in here.
Oh, thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
Can I kick it off with one question? I'd like to know a little bit more about Hallmark Media. I understand that the Hallmark Cards Hall of Fame series started in the 1950s, and you were producing films there. And I'm curious about your current operations, which include both a production company, multiple networks, and a streaming service.
Yeah, well, we have a lot going on. So Hallmark has actually been around for 115 years, and Hallmark Channel has been around for 20 years. And you know, when you look at all the different ways in which people can consume our content and our products, it is just such an iconic brand, and it has such meaning to people's lives, and it's all about care and connection and love and relationships. And whether you're going and picking out a card for someone or you're watching one of our movies, you know, it's giving you that same feeling. And so yes, we have 3 linear networks. We also have a streaming service, which is a membership service as well, called Hallmark Plus. And you know, between Hallmark Cards, Crayola, we have branded experiences. We have our Hallmark Christmas cruise coming up soon that I'll be going on. Very excited. This year we're going to Cozumel, Mexico. And then we'll have 4 weekends of our Hallmark Christmas experience. This is the second year we're doing it in Kansas City. It's absolutely incredible. Like the turnout last year, I've just never seen anything like it. And I will say, you know, Hallmark as a brand means so much to so many people that our fans, when they come to these experiences, like they are so excited to meet our talent and just be around other fans where, you know, this content has, you know, move them in some way, and they really always want to like tell us about it, which means so much to us. But even Hallmark Hall of Fame, like you were just mentioning, next year is its 75th anniversary, which is kind of crazy.
That is wild.
And you know, like when you look at just like the landscape of media, but also brands, I mean, Hallmark really is truly one of the most iconic brands. So it makes me and, you know, I know our entire team just so proud to be able to make content that spreads this much joy.
Absolutely. I love how Hallmark is kind of shorthand for love, a Hallmark moment. That is good branding. Definitely take note. So as we're talking a little bit about Christmas, and I'm wearing the closest thing I could
Christmas
find
sweater.
to a Christmas sweater, this iconic llama sweater that I wear at times and get teased for. But I'm wondering, like, what do you look for when you're trying to come up with some of these projects for the countdown to Christmas? Like, yeah.
Well, we make movies and series all year, but for Christmas specifically, there is definitely a feeling that you get when you put on a Hallmark Christmas movie. John knows this very well. And our Countdown to Christmas Dawn actually starts next Friday, October 17th, which I know is before Halloween, but we always start before Halloween. And I think for us, we know our viewers are coming for a feeling and to be transported and to feel, just something where it could happen to me, but let me see this journey. And when it comes to a holiday movie, it needs to feel intrinsic to the season, right? It's got to feel like it can't take place in any other time of the year. Some of that is just based on the activities that you do in a holiday movie, but we go to like exotic destinations. We shoot all over Europe and all over the world. But, it's really great to showcase different holiday traditions and the way that people celebrate. And so, again, like you were saying, it's all about love. We always want to follow that Hallmark, love story. But because we do so many movies, it's always about what's the new journey to get there, and like how do we switch it up? And it is one of the harder things. John is very well versed in this as well. But it's like, what's the story we haven't told yet? And shockingly, every year we find ones we haven't told.
Yeah, it's something you do so well, and even like when I want to come and pitch a project to Hallmark for Christmas, and all year round, but especially for Christmas, you do so well of having it feel familiar, but also having it be unique. That every movie has a familiarity to it, but also has a unique in its concept, in its execution, we've done some that took place over different decades. Some, obviously this movie, Holiday Touchdown, has not just the football in it, but even just the family stories. It's something unique. So there's always a new concept or a spin on the concept or a way that the story is told that can make it feel like something you haven't seen before, but still have that comfort of familiarity of what you look for in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, because we've done movies that are centered around the military. We've had more music involved in our storylines. We've done high concept where you're time traveling. We have a movie this holiday season that we shot in the Alps, and it was very, very cold. Our actors were very, very cold up on Mont Blanc. And it's kind of incredible, like all the places that we've gotten to go.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think probably it's obvious that the most incredible place you've ever been is here in Western New York, right, everyone?
Where would we rather be than right here?
Right now.
I love it. What I love about that, it's the only place where I can do that and anybody will listen to me. Like, I can't get my dog to bark when I want, but here I can say that and everybody will answer. Yeah.
It's true. I will also say Bills fans have just been absolutely incredible. But when I'm now
Go
wearing
Bills.
like a lot of, I have a lot of Bills clothing. And my husband and I were, and my husband and I were getting off a flight at JFK, completely not even from Buffalo, but I had a Bills shirt on. And a pilot walked past me, and he goes, "Go Bills!" And I kept saying to my husband, I was like, "If you wear Bill, like people will say that to you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Go Bills!" And I was like, "We're 4-0," because this was obviously 2 weeks ago. But it was crazy. And my husband's like, "This is nuts."
Yeah.
Like, we live in New York, and he's a Met fan, but nobody really walks around and says like, "Go Mets" to people, But
that happened to me coming here when and leaving from Los Angeles, and I was connecting to Denver, and most of the people weren't going on to Buffalo, but I had my Bills hat that I got here, and like 5 people at 5 a.m. were saying "Go Bills." Yeah. And I forgot I had the hat on. I was like, "How did you even know?"
Yeah.
It's always good to wear a Bills shirt in an airport. I had that happen in Austin, actually, a couple years ago.
They find you. Like, it's amazing.
They're always like, they always got a story. They always want to ask if Josh is taking us to the Super Bowl this year. It was.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
The passion
It's
of all
happening,
of you
guys.
and of the fans, like I'll tell you, you can see it on TV and you can hear about it.
Yeah.
But when you're here, it's different. Like seeing people, it's like it's beyond anything you could imagine. The passion that people here have for the Bills. It's you can watch it on TV all day long, but until you see it live, it's heartwarming in a way because it's just such a fabric of the community. So it's really lovely to see.
Can I ask a question about, though, what initially, because there's been a few holiday productions here. Certainly East Aurora is a character unto itself as, the iconic small town. So what initially drew you here? I know there's also some other partners that you work with, like Synthetic Cinema, that have also produced content here in Western New York, and in addition to, of course, Bill's fandom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll back it up a little bit for our partnership with the NFL and Skydance Sports. So last year we had another film. It was Holiday Touchdown: A Chiefs Love Story. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But it was a really incredible experience. It was our first time working with the NFL and with Skydance, and we had the idea before they had even gotten to the Super Bowl. And they, obviously with all the Taylor and Travis stuff that was going on, ESPN had approached us. This was like, 2 Christmases ago. And they said, hey, would you be able to do some sort of package around how the NFL season is like a Hallmark movie? And so one of our writers put something together, and it was only supposed to be on, online, and they ended up airing it 4 times that day on ESPN on Christmas Day. And so then the Chiefs saw it, and they were like, well, this is interesting. And as their run up to the Super Bowl, they cast 2 of our Hallmark leads, Tyler Hines and Janelle Parrish, in this. It was basically like a Hallmark movie promo for the Chiefs. And so we started talking to them, and we were like, well, this would be fun because obviously Hallmark is based in Kansas City. Chiefs are in Kansas City. So we're like, maybe this is an easy way in. But, we had such an incredible experience working with the Chiefs. But what was so great about it was as we started looking ahead, I mean, the first thought was, okay, well, what are we going to do next year? I mean, our Chiefs movie was the #1 movie in cable last year. This will also be
Congratulations. Let's give that a quick applause. Yeah.
The only time they'll ever applaud for the Chiefs in Buffalo.
I know.
That's a rarity.
It was, we were thinking about other teams, and I will be completely honest, the first team that came to mind was the Bills. And I was like, we should try to work with the Bills. And so we talked to the NFL, we talked to Skydance, and we had a meeting with the Bills. It was 2 weeks before Christmas, and Pete Gwelly who's the COO, was incredible, and we said we want to come to the last game before Christmas and come shoot. Would you be open to that? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And we got everything together in a week, and we shot so much stuff. But East Aurora is a huge character because when we were going around and shooting, and obviously you guys had a lot of snow at the time, it's such a beautiful town. And I'm seeing Clydesdales pulling, pulling everybody, there's a fire pit in the middle of that. I was like, what is happening here? And it's very much like a Hallmark town. So we really wanted to highlight that.
I love that you referred to it as a character, because I have this thing where I think of every, location as a film as another character. Yeah, I'm hoping you can talk a little bit more about that experience of shooting here in the community. Obviously, the Bills fans are very vocal, but it's a warm, fuzzy, cold place here.
It is. This is not just being nice. This is being very honest. The city is beautiful, and the architecture and nature, and it's beautiful. But the people here are so kind. And the sense of community to each other and to an outsider like me are so kind that really any movie that we take on, there's a pressure, a good pressure that comes. As a producer, I want to do right by the network. Hopefully a couple of times I've been able to do that. I want to do right by the audience. My wife is a huge Hallmark fan, so I want her to enjoy it. But here, and we have the NFL, we have the Bills, so there was extra pressure. But when I came and our great director Dustin Reichert and others, and we meet all of you, there was even more pressure because you see the people of Buffalo and how great you are, not just your passion for the Bills, but your kindness to each other. And really every day on set, we would drive together, Dustin and I, to set, and we would talk about that. We have to do right. We have to do right by the people of Buffalo. And I believe we did. I'm proud to say. And so I love this movie, and I'm very proud of this movie. But I would hope that the people of Buffalo would be proud because the movie's honestly better because of you. Because you inspired us to make it. It was a great movie, and Vanessa and Jenny did a great job writing it. And the cast are fantastic, but there was an inspiration every day. Because every day we would see something and want to make it better because of you. So yeah, the city itself as a character. but the people and the spirit and the community of Buffalo is what drove it to be even more than it ever might have been.
Everybody opened their doors to us. I've never, I mean, like we said, we've shot all over the world. I've never seen the engagement from any place like Buffalo. It's just been truly incredible. And we were filming at Buffalo Filmworks, and that's where we had our production offices set up. And every week, Paula's Donuts sent us so many donuts. It was so many donuts, but they were delicious. And so we were like, well, Paula's going in the movie. I was like, whatever, Paula, like it's just Buffalo Love sent us so much wardrobe. Like it was just whatever we wanted. New Era was incredible. Like there's so many Buffalo-based companies that just were like, how can we be involved? What do you guys need help with? The film commission up here has been unbelievable. We shot Newport Christmas right before this, that Dustin had also directed, and we produced with Synthetic Cinema, which is our production services company. And the crew on that show they were so lovely, so kind. A lot of them we ended up rolling over into this movie. But we announced that we were doing this movie while we were filming Newport, and people on set went bananas.
Oh, I believe it.
It was they were unwell, and I understand why. But Bobby, I was telling John this. Bobby, who's our location manager, and he's
Bobby Gott.
Yes,
yeah.
He was at the party last night, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's around.
Bobby's
not out,
the
Bobby.
best, man.
Hi, Bobby.
Bobby is the best.
Bobby.
But Bobby, I was like literally on a plane when the announcement went out, and I'm texting with Candace, who's our other exec on it, and she was on set for Newport, and she said people were like screaming, and that Bobby came over to her and Dustin and was talking about how he was like very, very emotional, and said that his mother loved Hallmark movies. Like she used to watch Hallmark Christmas movies, and he said that they were watching the Chiefs movie, last year, and she said, Bobby, maybe one day they'll do this for us. Aww. And she passed away, and he starts crying, and Candace is texting me, and she's like, I cannot tell you the emotion that is happening on the set right now. So we knew that this was more than just a movie, and we went into this with like our full hearts, anything that they needed. Like we wanted to make sure, like John said, that we were doing it right.
And you mentioned Tim Clark, Rich Wall from the Film Commission here. That on the smoothest movie, something goes wrong. Yeah. I mean, that's just part of. I mean, it's just if something doesn't go wrong, you're not trying hard enough. And a lot of times, and it happened here with weather. There was a day we were supposed to film, actually, and if you want to show the clip, Carol Cade. We had something with Carol Cade, and we're supposed to film it, but there was going to be a storm that night. Yeah. And so last second, we said, and Molly, one of the producers, who's fantastic, look, and we need to make the switch. And we're shutting down the street. I mean, we're shutting down that main street in East Aurora. And we called him. We're like, okay, but it's going to rain. Can we switch it? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Hold on. Give me 5 minutes. And call. Yep, no problem. Done.
There's everybody.
That doesn't happen. That does not happen somewhere. And it wasn't like, okay, well, how much money do you have? Yeah. They just got it done, and the people, and so that, to have that support, to know that, okay, when something happens, you're going to have that support here by people who really care about the logistics, of course, but the creative process, because he knew that was going to make it a better movie versus, having to have everything tight because it's covered because of the rain. He knew it was going to make it better. So they went above and beyond to have it happen for us. So we could not be more grateful to them for that.
Yeah.
I love that. And just real quick, I'd like to say we've heard nothing before speaking with you but the loveliest things. And just hearing you speak about our community, I think it's pretty clear why. Tim and Rich are amazing. They work miracles every day. The crews here are incredibly hardworking. Mm-hmm. But when someone is kind and sincere and puts their heart into the work, like you seem to, I think that it comes back tenfold here. So I think it's really beautiful, and I think it's going to show in the product, for sure. Yeah.
Could we talk? Can we talk a little bit about casting? I do want to give a shout out to Matthew Daddario,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
a festival favorite because we're showing a short film that he's in at 6:45 tonight at Hall Walls.
Yeah.
But you
People
also
Walk
have Joey
Dogs.
Pants, the legendary character actor
Joey Pants.
in this, and members of the Buffalo Bills. Can you tell us a little bit about casting and how this came together with Dustin and everyone else?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, this is an ensemble, so there was a lot of roles to find, and I think every person was like the right person for the role. Like I can't say that enough. Like we've talked about this so many times, but Holland Roden is incredible, and she and Matthew have great chemistry. He was perfect for this role. I mean, it's just there. Joey Pants, Steve Sharippa, Caroline Aaron, Tracy Pollan. Like, I mean, it was like an embarrassment of riches, to be honest. And like every day, like we're on set. I'm just like, this is happening right now. Like we were filming even in the stadium, and I see the family all together. Patty Murin, like we were just like, I couldn't believe this. But we had, again, there's so many. The opportunity in Buffalo is so extensive. Plus, like, great casting up here, great, local casting that can come out of New York. Like we had a really, we stacked the deck, so to speak, with this one. It was crazy.
I think I see Bob Bozak, who I saw in the trailer here. As he's,
Yes, there he is.
It was fantastic, so funny. And we, I mean, like Hallmark, you do such a great job with casting, Samantha and Tatiana, casting over there. And I'm with you, like, sometimes like watching this on set and, watching as we film it, and I forgot that these are actors because it felt so real. And we were filming it, some of it at Buffalo Film Works at the, it built a stage. And there's a lot of, as you say, it's ensemble, so we have a lot of cast, scenes with 8-9 people and long scenes, and it takes a while to film.
Yeah.
I mean, Dustin, our director, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, it would take 2 days. With him, it's 4 hours.
We don't have that. Yeah.
But he's so great. But sometimes when you do that, and you have to get this coverage and that coverage and that, and then they go over here, tensions sometimes can, people just, we're doing this again. Never happened. The cast were so great. The way that they talked with each other, with the crew. It was very much a family. And I think Buffalo is a part of that because you just feel that from the community here. But you would see, like, Caroline hanging out with some of the crew. You would see, Joey talking with, a PA. It was just so, if somebody just walked in, you would never know who is the lead actor, who's a crew member, because it was just a family. And it was one of the happiest sets we all of the Hallmark sets are pleasant, very happy sets. This was one of the best. It was sad to leave. I mean, I was glad to go home to my wife, but it was otherwise, and my dogs, otherwise sad, in case she's watching, but it was otherwise sad to leave.
Yeah. And we had so many Bills players, legends, and, Coach McDermott, who does an incredible job in the movie. That was a hard scene. I mean, it was like a wander down a hallway, and he was like nailing it to the point where Matthew was like, oh my God. Like he was like, it was so fun working with all of them, with Dion and Dwayne and DeMar, and we had Reed Ferguson and Dawson Knox, and it was
Ray
crazy.
Davis, Joshua Palmer,
and then we had Steve Tasker and Chris Brown, and then Jim Kelly and Scott Norwood and Andre Reed and Thurman. I mean, it was like everywhere you turned, it was a Bills player, and it was incredible. And we would have scenes where we would say, "Hey, we can bring in some Bills players," and we'd find out, this person wants to do it, or we're like, "Sure, put them in the scene.
Bring them on.
Whoever wants to come." But yeah, so it was, we wanted to make sure that we were really showcasing, that our current Bills team, but also the legends. And this is this is a love letter to Bills fans, to Buffalo, and to Hallmark movie fans. And you don't have to be a Bills fan to watch this movie. I really genuinely think the story is so lovely and heartfelt. Like it is going to be, and when I say it's like the upper echelon of our Hallmark Christmas movies. But if you're a Bills fan, or if you're from Buffalo, this is going to be a tradition for you. There's just no way. It's so good.
One of the behind-the-scenes things, Luke Russer, we were also so fortunate to have Luke be part of the movie. And, Tim is a legend, and boy, could we use him right now. Luke, his wife, is a huge fan of Hallmark movies. So, true story. we reach out to him. Molly, one of our fantastic producers, calls. And I guess has his wife's number and leaves a message. Oh, we're doing a movie, a Buffalo Bills movie for Hallmark, and we'd like Luke to be a part of it. And we don't hear back.
Yeah.
And we think like, oh, that's unfortunate. Well, we would have thought at least we'd hear back, but maybe they're busy, who knows? And we say, let's just try one more time. Just call once more and see. And she answers. They didn't call back because they thought it was a prank.
Yeah, he thought that he was getting punked.
They love Hallmark movies and Buffalo so much, they thought it was a prank. To which I thought, what kind of prank? Who's like the jerky boys? Like, who's calling?
The sweetest jerky boys ever.
Because he made some, when we announced it, he commented on, because we had done like a dual post with the Bills and Hallmark Channel, and he commented and said like, my wife finally thinks I'm cool now, or something like that. And so I commented right back, and he's got a lot of followers and stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, he probably didn't see it. So he really thought we were kidding.
Yeah.
But then freaked out and was like, yes, yes, yes. And he was so happy to be here. They were so lovely. His wife Laura is so lovely.
It was beautiful. They were on set just to watch, and yeah, it was great. And he's very good. I mean, he also he's and you can just sense the coming from his dad too. You can sense just both the power and the personality and the care that comes from him, and just everybody in this movie. Yeah. There's everybody in it. You feel they've given so much to make their character what it should be.
Yeah, and I was going to also just say on casting, we worked with Casting Buffalo, who was incredible, and
we love them.
We had to fill the stadium, obviously not complete at Highmark, but we had about 3,000 people there ish. On this one night, and we had them enter from the other side of the stadium and walk across the field to go into the seats because we had all our cameras set up and everything. And I'm watching all these extras who they were just excited to be there. Like, that's got to be pretty amazing to like walk on the field at Highmark if it's this has been a team you've watched your whole life. And people were crying. Yeah. It was, John was saying last night, people were asking to take pictures, but I started asking them, I was like, where are you guys from? Because I just assumed they were all from Buffalo. LA, I'm from Illinois. I'm from, one was from North Carolina. They flew up here to be an extra. Because they were like, well, it's a Hallmark Bills movie. I have to be here. I was like, oh my God, it was crazy.
It was so inspiring. We were talking last night of, sometimes when you film, saying you can, wherever you are, even in this amazing place, it becomes a set in a way. And especially that night, Hallmark, shout out to publicity and marketing, does such a great job. And we had EPK, so like interviews, behind the scenes interviews going. We had behind the scenes stuff. We had a photo gallery going. Yeah. So like this suite was where these interviews were going. This suite is where social. So there's a lot of so this cast member is going to go here, then they're going to go here, then they're going to go there. So you're there and it's a set. You're in a stadium, but it's a set. Yeah. Then the people come in and somebody asked me to take a photo of them in the 50-yard line and they start crying. And it hits me, you just look around and say how grateful I am to be here, and how grateful I am to be in the stadium, but to be amongst all of these people. You got me to, for just a moment, stop being a producer, for just, I promise, just Samantha, not for that long. Yeah. Like we made the day, but to just that moment take it in, and you don't do that very much making a movie. You're just so busy, you don't get to do it, but because of the people here. And again, I think that made it even the scene better, because, as Dustin, as he's doing it, we say like, for even the cast to take it in of where they are.
And I understand that that this being the last season the Bills are playing at that iteration of Highmark Stadium is a thread in the film, right?
Oh yeah, we when we came down again for that last game before Christmas, we brought our two writers, Vanessa Morano and Danielle Morrow, and we they had never been to a Bills game. Being in we were tailgating too and kind of walking around with everybody. So they were getting the full experience. We were in the Hammerlot. It was a whole situation. And we did not do the bowling ball shot because that's just, God bless all of you, but I can't die. They really were like in it. And when we got in the stadium and they did the salute to service moment, they just like turned to us and they were like, we have to have a military element in this. And I just think it was so clear to them seeing the love about just for the Bills, but also how important like this stadium was going to be, the fact that it was going to be the last season at Highmark, they're building the stadium across the street, and how much love went into that, and all the things that they thought about, for the community. And like, it was, it's built for Buffalo, built by Buffalo. And so that was a big thread for us, and it was important to just get it right.
And it was interesting talking to, we talked to some people of, fans as we were going through of, how do you feel about the fact that there's going to be a new stadium? And they talked about, the love that you have for Highmark and all the things that have happened there. But at the same time, there's something new, and there's something to be excited about that. And the writers, and they're so great, the writers, and they did such a tremendous job. And even taking that and threading it with Matthew and with Holland Road and their characters of lifelong friends, ever since they were kids, lifelong friends, but who start to think maybe there's something more than a friendship. And so like the new stadium, okay, there's something so great about what you have, but there could be something even better.
Yeah.
And that goes through even with their romance too. So what I love about the movie is the connections to Buffalo, to the Bills, to football, to the new stadium, also connects to the personal stories, the family stories, the service, the sacrifice. So everything, what I would say is the things I love the most about this movie are the things that I came to love the most about Buffalo. And they're all threaded together really well.
Yeah. The other thing with the stadium, what I'll add this to, we're in the Hammer Lot, and you guys know what happens in the Hammer Lot. And this, we didn't tell anyone that we were from Hallmark because we couldn't say anything at that point, and we had some cameras with us, but we were like, oh, we're with NFL Films. And as we're walking around, there was a gentleman who had a lot of soda. And so we said, how do you feel that this is going to be the last season at Highmark next year? And, he had just, God knows what, done. But he all of a sudden got like very serious. And he said, well, I've been coming to games for years, and I got a lot of memories at that field, and I can't wait to make new ones over there.
That's
and
right.
that was when we were like, okay, like we get it. And that was the vibe that we were going for.
Yeah. And to never give up. I mean, that it's such a part of Buffalo, with the Bills and with the people and with the weather. That there's a resiliency.
Yeah.
And you see that with the characters. They're all, each of the characters
passionate.
are very different.
Yeah.
But they're all very strong. Matthew and Holland is so fantastic.
So good.
And she brings such a strength. She's a doctor at Oshai Children's Hospital. It was so great to work with Oshai and the nurses there. And we do our technical survey, which is where you go and, okay, this is where the camera's going to be, a director, and this is where, we'll have the lights, and this is where equipment can be. And there's a point when the grips and electric take over to start measuring stuff, whereas an executive producer, my job is to not be in their way. And so I started talking to some of the nurses and thanking them for what they do. And I have a nephew who's gone through some medical things when he was a child, and you could see how much they care. And for Holland to have that as part of her character, even when she isn't acting as a doctor.
Yeah.
But she always is a doctor. When you're a doctor, you are always a doctor.
Like who you are, yeah.
And the strength she had in that, even in times of vulnerability. Mm-hmm. There's a wonderful scene that I'm not going to give away, but there's such vulnerability in the two of them, but with strength, and it just makes me think of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we've been teasing everyone a lot. There's one more clip, isn't there?
There's two.
Yeah, there's two.
Oh, there's two more.
Well, do you want to show the one from East Aurora first?
Yeah.
Since we were talking about East Aurora?
We were talking about East Aurora.
The Carolcade one.
Yeah. You're like,
Just in case he doesn't. There may be another movie that film.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
This is quite possibly the blurriest thing I've ever seen.
Well, I guess it wasn't weather shopping.
Kids, I'm worried. You seem to be very consumed by all this.
Oh, no, we're not consumed. We've only spent, a few days?
Oh, yeah, just like several nights.
Pretty much whenever we're off work and have our free time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really call that very consumed.
Right. Well, there's nothing more that can be done tonight. You know, Carolcade's happening right outside those doors. Wouldn't you both rather be out there enjoying that?
No, we could skip Carolcade. We just need...
Skip Carolcade? Not on my watch. The Elm Street Bakery is serving special holiday cookies, and I'm serving drinks. On the house. Now get out there and have some fun.
Cindy, that is so sweet of you, but...
No buts, Morgan. I know you want to do something magical for your Uncle Tommy, but you deserve to take a moment and enjoy some Christmas magic for yourself. Now go on, get.
Mary Stout, who played Cindy.
Do you want to show the one more clip?
Yeah.
I will set this one up because we were trying to figure. This was also going to be part of the story, but when you start doing a lot of research on things, social media targets you. That's just what happens on the interwebs. And I got this Instagram reel of this insane, tricked out Bill's Mafia basement. And I literally messaged our producer and I was like, I think this guy's in Buffalo. I'm not sure. Please track him down. I only have this Instagram information. Send it. I was like, we have to film here. And he found him. But yeah. So we have a lovely scene set here.
So we went to this house that we thought was the place, but it turns out it was a dead end. So that's the whole story. And, we hoped we've come to the right place.
We need help, which is why we've come here today to ask you for this favor.
Why now? Why today? On this, the day before the last Christmas game at Hallmark?
Because we know what you're capable of.
Well, we also tried looking at me ourselves, and, we found nothing.
Oh, Morgan. You may know medicine, but social media stalking, it's an art. And I'm Michelangelo, baby. Boys!
What's with the shovels?
We're headed to the stadium. We signed up to shovel snow before the game tomorrow.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yes, Bill's Mafia all the way.
Marianne Torres. That's great. We were talking about you film some places and I filmed in museums and you have to be careful. We go in there, and when I say there's irreplaceable stuff in there, like a Jim Kelly jersey from his final game, things that guys, you have to be careful because truly irreplaceable. But they had this big TV where they would watch the games. And so, when you're filming, you have the monitor set up so you can watch what's being filmed, give notes. So we had the big TV to watch. So that was sort of the best day. So anything that would, have gone wrong, we were able to see it, any little thing there. And the dog was
a star. Yeah.
Our Mutfia.
Yeah. Mutfia dog.
So I'm curious, though, because, and Tim and Rich would want me to ask this question, I think, the region is so versatile. It's also playing New England in another film of yours.
Newport. Mm-hmm.
Talk a bit about that.
So we were actually, the architecture around here and even in surrounding suburbs, it really played for what we were looking for New England. And that movie is actually set in two time periods, but one is the Gilded Age, and so it worked. As you know, there's
Cabrini,
a lot of that architecture, right? So we actually, the film is called A Newport Christmas. It premieres this season in Countdown to Christmas, but on Hallmark Channel. But we only filmed one day in Newport. That was it. We were in Buffalo the rest of the time. We only had some exteriors in Newport, and it doubled so well. So we were just thrilled with the diversity in locations that we were able to get, and just the period aspect. Just it ended up working out perfectly. There's a lot of different opportunities up here.
Amazing.
Yeah, no. I think we should maybe open it up for questions from the audience, if that's cool with.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a microphone over there, and you can just go right up or form a line behind James. Or,
We also have a microphone if you don't want to go in front of it.
Either way. Here, why don't we do this?
okay.
This one's on.
Thanks, Catherine.
This one's on. I'll go back to my seat then.
Okay.
First of all, I wanted to acknowledge John Fink and Anna's hard work bringing delicious programming to the Buffalo film community, such as
thank
this,
you.
right? And also acknowledge Buffalo Toronto Public Media for hosting such a delicious event in its beautiful production facility. Looks cool, doesn't it? Right? Hi, I'm James. John might know me. John definitely knows me. Anna knows me. I want to touch on the economics of companies like Synthetic and Hallmark coming to Buffalo with multiple pictures, right? We touched a lot on the resources the region has. Environmental and geographical resources, beautiful cities, hardworking individuals, an easy to work with film commission, among other things. My question is specifically on the producing middle class, what I would call expats who have returned to Buffalo, who were trained in hubs like New York and LA. There's a lot of us, I'm one. How can we be better producing partners to sort of be a bridge between the corporate filming that is moving here for a reason? I think we all know that reason and we won't go out loud, but to be another positive resource for producing partners for Synthetic and Hallmark and other movie of the week type productions coming to town. Thank you.
Yeah. No. So, a big reason that we do film up here is obviously the incentive is great, as you've just were alluding to. But for us, every location that we do select is based on the creative. So, it did work out that we were able to film Newport Christmas up here. It made sense creatively. We just talked about the Gilded Age, locations. But a lot of times, and John can speak more to this too, but we are on a project by project basis of what the need is. The majority of what we shoot at Hallmark is, I would say, mostly Canada. We do shoot overseas quite a bit, but we don't get to shoot in the States as much. And when we do, it's we're obviously very excited to do it, but there has to be a reason behind it because financially, we're making 70 plus original movies a year. We've got 5 scripted series. We have unscripted series. Like it's a lot, and so it has to just make sense. And we also just want to make sure that we're utilizing the right location for what. But I think for producers, it really just starts with the concept. So if there is an opportunity where we're already coming up here, I think the Film Commission is a great place to start. And we usually will put out something so you'll know whoever the production services company is or the entity that we're putting in place. That if there's whatever the need is on the creative or production side, be available.
Yeah, and it's so good to see you again, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Kings.
And Sabres. I was going to go see them tonight, but they're not in town. A lot of times too, this movie was a bit different because there's so much going into it, but there are times because of so many movies that you do where there may be a movie where we're not sure where it's going to go, and then it gets greenlit very soon before we need to start pre-production. Sometimes like a week before, which is okay. I mean, that's just how this business goes. And so that's the other thing here is this one's a bit of a bigger movie than a typical Hallmark one, but sometimes where it's this is what we have. This is when we're going. We need this, 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 and this. And so to be able to know, okay, you need this location, you're going to be there because we can't, it's 3 weeks of prep. We can't spend 2 weeks trying to find a location. Right. By week 1, we want to know the end of week 1 where our main locations are so we can have a schedule. So all of that, the more of knowing if you need this, it's that. If you're looking for this, here's 3 choices. Because we never want to bring Samantha one choice or the executive, Candace. We always want to say, here's 3 choices. For the football stadium. This is, we've got Hallmark, But, for a house, here's 3 choices. Yeah. So to have that, the library of locations, the more you're going to have local cast that are here, the more you're going to have local crews who are here, so that we're able to bring more than one choice for hair, for makeup, for as you start having key grips, gaffers, the more work that is done here, the more that keys, DPs will be local to Buffalo. And all of that makes it easier because then and we had an amazing crew, people who came in, but then you also don't have the expense of bringing in outside crew.
Mm-hmm. That was a great question. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. You guys already know who I am, but hi, my name is Emma. I'm an intern for BIFF this year.
She's our shy one.
Move up. Okay. Hi. I just have a question about, because you brought so many Bills players and Coach McDermott, you touched on like how easy it was for him to film his scene. I wanted to just know more stories about the players and how they were able to act, if they had like that natural charisma, that natural acting skills, or was it a little more, you had to push them a little more to get what you guys wanted creatively?
I mean, I'll be honest, they all have charisma. Like 100%.
Especially Dion.
Oh yeah.
Dion is like another level. Dion's great. No, they were all so excited to be there, and I think we had there were different scenes for different players, and when we shot at Elm Street Bakery, that we had our legends there, and it was like a little bit of an homage to them going to get milkshakes before the game So, and John was just talking about that, but you want to say, like, they were just, I mean, that was a long scene where they had to just sit there at the one table.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been on a film set before, I don't know how many of you have, but
there's a lot of waiting.
There's a lot of waiting. Well, I say, like, it's not nearly as exciting as people might think it is. And in that scene, so there's the beginning of it where they talk with our main characters, with Holland and Gabe, Holland and Matthew, Morgan and Gabe, and then our two main characters, Morgan and Gabe, sit and talk to each other while Scott Norwood, Andre Reed, and Thurman Thomas are at a table until they have their next moment. They're sitting at their table for an hour, as we're shooting this way and that way and this way and that way. And they were so lovely to just sit there. Yeah. And yeah, they all of the, when we filmed a scene at Oshai and we had Damar Hamlin there was so great, and all the work that he does with hospitals. I mean, and I was talking with him, it's and I know you have another thing with him, it's so heartwarming. He's such a lovely guy. And Dion was there, Ray Davis was there. And they all, the charisma, the way they were interacting with the kids, even when we weren't filming. But the other thing, and this is where they were great to learn, and with Dustin is such a caring and giving director, as he is as just a human being, that when it's one thing to act, and they were all good, but you also have to remember this is when you drink your water, is after this scene. Right. This is how when you walk up, you have to come to, to here. And if you're here, you're going to block this person. If you're there, and so in blocking, which, so before they start filming, he would go over it with them and they would ask the questions, and they were so good. And we were like, wow, they're really good at remembering this. Yeah. And then we realized, well, yeah, it's like a play.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a playbook.
It was very much like a play. But they were all, and even when we were filming at the stadium too, and we had a number of them there, including like Jim Kelly, who was, I don't know if I've ever been as starstruck as I was meeting him. And everybody wants a photo with him. Mm-hmm. And he stayed to take photos, an hour after he was done, to take a photo with everybody who wanted it. You couldn't believe how great they were.
And even Dwayne, I think his partner had told me when we were filming at Oshai, she's like, oh, he's so excited for this. I don't want to get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was like a theater minor. He was so ready for this scene. And there was a couple times, like at the end, where we'll have our Santa character come in. Abraham Ben Ruby is like reprising his role as Santa in this. And he kept saying, he's like, oh, I'm going to try it like this. And Dustin was kind of like, talking to him about it. And it was so funny. Like, we had so many outtakes. It was a little crazy.
There's quite a number, in that scene at Oshai, there's quite a number of improvisations from the Bills players.
Yes, you are correct. Dwayne Carter did minor in theater. I just Googled it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Nice job,
I thought I
Emma.
remembered this correctly. That was a crazy day, but yeah, no, he was very excited. It was a fun day on set, and the kids were very happy to be there too. But and we had some Bills family members that were in there too. Like, that was the other thing for us. Like, it was very important that anyone from the Bills organization that wanted to be involved was involved. So we have Andy Majors is on the field.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but
Thank
they
you.
were great. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
And
amazing.
also, I will say, like, you don't know how big these guys are until you meet them in person. And
I don't
so
even know how
kind.
Dion, how like a person, an average height person, could get into Dion's truck. Like it's massive.
Massive. And
Yeah.
Dawson Knox is like, I didn't even know the human body had that many muscles.
I sure don't.
It's stunning.
Hello, everyone. My name is Drea Dixon. I'm here with Lynn Sachs. I, am a huge fan of Hallmark movies. I sit in my bed and I just watch them, eat my favorite snacks. So this is such a blessing to be here, amongst all the creators and all the things. I have 2 questions. The one question I have is, how do you hire your extras? And the other question is, how do you have specific writers for the stories and the movies and stuff? Do you hire new, because I'm a writer as well, so that's why I guess I'm asking. But do you hire new writers? What is that process like for you all?
So for the extras question first, it depending on where we're shooting, we'll usually work with local casting, wherever that is, and they will go through an extras process. For something like this, it was a little bit different because we also, like I was just mentioning, we want to make sure that anyone associated with Bill's organization, that we had like VIP levels of just people to make sure that their family members and everybody could come, right? But on the creative side, sometimes we'll generate ideas internally. Sometimes we'll call John and be like, "Hey, we want to set a movie here, and let's come up with something." And John may come up with an idea, or he may go to a writer and ask for a pitch. Sometimes we have what's called like a bake-off, where we'll go to a couple different writers because you just don't know which angle.
That term.
Bake-off.
I
Is
love
that
it.
funny? Sorry, is that like an inside
Am I the
term?
croissant?
You are the croissant. You're like a pan au chocolat. But yeah, I think because that's my favorite pastry. But I do think it's like we can get ideas from anywhere. And again, because we tell movies, we tell these stories throughout the whole year. It's not just Christmas. I mean, Christmas is my favorite season. But we're always looking for what's the new story, the new world, what else have we not explored yet? So sometimes we do go directly to writers, but always welcome to pitch as well.
And I'm sorry, as you started talking, I was looking, so I missed, what was your name again? Juria. Hi, Juria. Nice to meet you. Right. That's what I would say. Just keep writing. I'm sure you're talented. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. Write a script, then write another, then write another. What I would say is if you have a script, and sometimes somebody will send me something, and I also want to mention I have the best producing partner, Kimberly Bradley, who is the best. If ever a movie I do is good, it's because of her. I'm lucky my shoes are tied today. But if somebody sends us a script and we really like it, but it may be, Hallmark just did something like that. So you want to have another, and you want to have another, and you want to have another. Trust in yourself. Never, never, never give up, because you don't know how many times you need to send something to somebody for it to be the right time, the right person. Just keep writing. And I mean, both of us, I'm sure, could talk for hours about the things that have gone wrong or the failures that we may have had. I've pitched, if I'm lucky, if I bring Hallmark 5 pitches, one of them will go into production. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Just trust yourself and keep writing. And the fact that you love Hallmark already puts you, you're a smart person just to hear that.
Just keep watching all the movies, because
Keep
then
watching
you'll know the entire, all of our inventory, everything. Yeah, the entire library catalog.
And and just trust yourself and write.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to the group over there. They're going to be screening their film, This Side of Selena, at 7.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
At 7 here, along with
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing Anya. So if you're around, come check it out. It's amazing.
We should be pitching to you. What do you?
Yeah.
I'm like, you buried the lead. You have a film screening? What's going on?
So I have this idea.
Yeah.
Very remarkable inspiration there, sir. I must say. You've moved me. You've moved me this morning, indeed. And if you are looking for a clause for your Christmas production. I am here.
I saw the belt. I thought that. I saw the belt. I
And tomorrow's price is not today's
either that,
price.
or
So-
you just won like a WWE championship.
Well, I'm
one of
trying
these.
to.
I love it. I love that.
Well, thank you very much for giving an opportunity to come out. So my name is Kente Claus, the international Claus with the cause. And, I began coming to Buffalo for many years ago. And I also have the same sentiments of the people and the places. And they told me one thing, to keep Buffalo a secret. So
I get it.
I get that. I think you ruined that with this film. I think we can forget about that. People are going
Turn
to
the cameras up.
Yes. If there's any way, but nevertheless, it's time for Buffalo to shine. So my question is regarding, I know one of the characters of the film is an ornament.
I'm sorry, is
an
a
ornament. The ornament is a very prominent, it seems, to be a very prominent piece to the storyline here. And every year we do something special in the community in Buffalo called Joy on Jefferson, where we actually decorate Jefferson. And for all the Bills fans, Jefferson is actually home of the original Buffalo Bills Stadium. That is right. It's called the Rock Pile. That's right. And so in beginning very soon will be Remember the Rock Pile Week. And so to celebrate all of that, we actually will be decorating that area specifically with Buffalo Bills themed Christmas things.
Love it.
So if there's anything left over from the film that we can use, we would love for Hallmark to participate and come down and help us spread some joy on Jefferson.
We'll have to see what we have. But yeah, that ornament that is like a key prop in our movie, that is available on Hallmark. We are known also for our keepsake ornaments. I'm sure everyone has like a Hallmark ornament somewhere in their house.
Absolutely.
And collect them every year. But yes, that one with the little Santa with the little bills thing, yes, that'll be there too. But yeah, we'll have to see what we can find.
Look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's very fun that you do that. I like that.
The rock pile is mentioned in
Yes.
the movie, and yeah, the ornament it sort of sets off that search, the mystery search that they have, part of the gifts that they give, and it was so great for Hallmark. It's such a wonderful company, and I have to shout out Samantha. Like I've been so fortunate to make movies with you guys, and I can't imagine the amount of things. I mean, Samantha oversees all of them. I have to oversee one, or sometimes if I'm busy, two. She oversees a million, and to do it with not only creatively so well, but with such class and grace. I could not I'm happy to share the stage with you. I'm happy to share this earth with you. It just, you could not have a better person to work with. And so I would want you all to know, as you talk about loving Hallmark movies and loving the feel that they give from them, this is why. Maybe you could be a bad person and make a Hallmark. I mean, I do, but otherwise, there's a reason why they're so good. And there's, these are not easy things to do. Where it's like, say, it's 3 weeks of prep, 3 weeks of shoot, you're away from your family. We were grateful to do it, but they're not easy. You can't do it but for working for somebody so great. And Candice DeLavore, the executive there as well, who's fantastic. Anyway, wherever I got on that tangent, that ornament, because Hallmark gives it to us. And we did a movie last year, we did Cherry Lane, and then last year we did 3 Cherry Lanes, and Crayola was a part of it. There's all these different storylines, and it was one in the 1950s, and we hear, we have a 1950s Crayola box. Okay. So it's really great to have all of that, and to have, the history of Hallmark is the history of all of us. And it's part of our childhoods, part of our lives, so it's just a great place to work with.
John, I was going to say also, John is the perfect example of why these movies just go. I know we always say there's got to be one issue, but they just run so smoothly. And unfortunately, John cannot be in all of our movies because we can't split him into multiplicity yet. But I do think it's like we really work everyone on our set, but especially with our creative producers. Like, it's so essential that this is exactly what you're getting at every set. It's John. Like, someone who is like spearheading and spreading like all the positivity, setting the bar for everyone across every day. Like, it's just such a pleasure to work with you.
You made me want to watch Multiplicity again. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I'm waiting till I can do that to myself, and then I feel like I could really accomplish some things.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we're getting the signal we have to wrap it up. But this was such a delightful conversation. We really are honored to have you here in Buffalo. Thank you so much for what you're doing in this community with our crews and of course, to make Bill's Mafia proud. I just want to give a quick shout out. We have another producing panel tomorrow at 10:45 a.m. at Hall Walls with the producers of The Curse of La Reina. So something very, very different than a Hallmark movie. They're joining us along with Tim Clark tomorrow at Hall Walls at 10:45 a.m. Feel free to stop by or watch it on the live stream. John, Sam, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. Thank you. John. Thank you, all of you. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
It's only day 3 of BIFF.
Merry
We got
Christmas,
a lot more coming tonight and the rest of the week.
Go Bills.
Go
and
for
September
4.
22nd. November 22nd.
Yeah.
November 22nd. Tune in.
I think they turn us off. Nope.
There's a couple people
Can we get those who are in the film take a quick picture? Is that all right?
If you don't mind, she didn't get a chance to ask a question.
Oh, okay.
I love your